Alright, so in this video I'm going to teach you more details about how to make the techniques that we've seen in the previous video more effective. And we're going to do it with something we call targeting. So targeting is the art of narrowing down exactly what you're trying to solve, and since tapping is a technique that works on emotion, we are working on emotional release and we are going to see every issue through the lens of emotions. So there are 6 elements to targeting. The first one is pick a specific situation. So a specific situation is a moment where the problem shows up. For example, the easiest way is to pick a memory of a time where you had a problem. So if our example is I'm afraid to drive cars, well, pick a memory where you were having that fear. Maybe it was where you were entering a car, maybe it was driving on a highway, or maybe driving in a city. There is a specific situation in which the emotion is more present, so choose this specific emotion. If you're working on weight loss, for example, well, you need to break it down into several issues which are led by emotion. So specific situation, for example, I'm hungry when it's 4 o'clock and I cannot contain the urge. Or every time I pass by the fridge, I feel this craving to open the fridge and pick something. Or when I had an argument with my spouse, then I really need to eat, etc., etc. So for every issue, you have to break it down into specific moments where the issue is active. And sometimes you only have one specific moment, sometimes you have several, and you have to do targeting for each specific moment. All right? So let's say you have one moment, one memory where the problem always shows up. Now the next step of targeting is to name what the emotion is. So, for example, if my problem is I feel anxious when I'm driving a car, what is this emotion exactly? Is it fear? Is it being anxious? Because those emotions are not the same. And what am I anxious about? Am I anxious about speed? Or am I afraid I might hurt somebody or hurt myself because I had a memory where I was hurt while driving? Etc., etc. What is the emotion exactly? Once you have the emotion, the third element is the location in the body. So every emotion is happening somewhere in the body. Sometimes it's in the throat, or the heart, or the diaphragm, or the belly, or it could be the whole body sometimes, but there is always a place in our body where the emotion is present. And the more we're able to pinpoint it and locate exactly where this emotion is happening, the easier and more efficient the treatment will be. So where is it in your body? The fourth element is what are the physical sensations that go along with the emotion. So for example, if I have fear and I've located the fear in my chest, what are the physical sensations? Is it a feeling of emptiness, or is it a tension? Is it a feeling of compression? Is there a feeling that things are vibrating? Or any other physical sensation? You see, there are many ways to describe an emotion if you think about it in terms of sensations. And the more you're able to really analyze and feel, okay, yes, this emotion is there and it's more like this, or it's large like this, and the sensation is this, the faster and more efficient again the treatment will be. So narrow down where is it, what is the shape of this emotion, what are the sensations, sometimes the texture, sometimes people describe tastes, whatever it is, the physical part of it is very important. So far you have a specific moment, a specific emotion, you have the location in the body and the physical sensation. Now the next step is the intensity of the emotion. So generally when we use tapping in pixel therapy or in other therapies, we use a scale that goes from 0 to 10. So 0 is no emotion, you're feeling calm, peaceful and light. And 10 is the maximum of intensity that this emotion could have. And it's important because it will it will help you to be in tune with the emotion, to really feel what's going on. Is it really intense or is it not so intense? Is it something that can be overwhelming or is it something that actually isn't so overwhelming? The more you're able to welcome this emotion and evaluate how intense it is, the easier it will be because you're not afraid anymore of this emotion since you know it. And you know what it is, how intense it is, what's going on in terms of a somatic experience, an experience in your body. So, how intense is it from 0 to 10? And finally, the last element of targeting is there a word or a sentence that exactly match the emotion? For example, let's say I have a fear of driving and that fear is in my chest. If you focus on the emotion in the chest, you might notice that there is a word or a sentence that goes along with it and that completely match the experience. For example, it could be something like, I'm going to die, or I'm too afraid, or I need to run away, whatever it is. But when you're able to really identify all of these elements, the emotion, the physical sensation, and the sentence, you're gathering all of the different parts of our brains that can work together into resolving the issue. So it's much more powerful than if you have only one of those elements. So once you have the physical sensation, you can feel it, you know how intense it is, you can name this emotion, and you know the sentence that goes along with it. All you have to do is to accept this emotion and tap, like we've seen before. And the goal here is not to try to contain or to push away or to deny the emotion. On the contrary, you've seen that everything that we've done so far is related to welcoming this emotion as it is and accepting it as it is. Because anyway, it's already there, right? Even if you've been fighting it for some time, you notice that it always comes up again and again in the same specific situations. So this time you're not going to push it away or trying to control it, but allow the emotion to be there and accept it. Because it's not something that you can control with your mind or your willpower. In this technique we are using something very different, which is just working with the body and its natural ability to release emotional blockages or to heal, right? So accept this emotion, tap, and always have this attitude of kindness toward yourself. You want your own good. And that will really help you and really help to work with your body into releasing this emotion. So you have nothing to do once you have done the targeting. You just start tapping and you keep feeling the emotion and accepting it until it decreases, and finally resolves. The end of the session is when you feel calm, peaceful, and light. Meaning there is no more emotion, no more physical sensation, the phrase or the word doesn't trigger you anymore, but you actually feel completely calm and light. So, have a good practice.